gentlemen, and thank you for this opportunity to speak here today. So my topic, as you can tell, is wellness in the private health insurance market. So before I get into overall concept of wellness and how we embrace wellness through health programs, we need to look at both current and future challenges. So as what Benedict was saying earlier on in regards to aging population, okay? So Ireland's population is one of the youngest in Europe, and it is expected to age faster than any EU country. So massive 85% increase in our over 65s in expected 2031, and we need to prepare the growth of the Irish population and the associated healthcare demands. So the next challenge will be chronic diseases. 30% of Irish population suffer with some form of chronic disease, as you all know, and 40% of the adult population in Ireland will have one or more chronic diseases by 2020. Over 50% of all over 50s currently have at least one chronic diseases, and approximately 1/3 of men over 60 years of age have two or more. Chronic diseases are responsible for about 60% of death in Ireland, death worldwide, and 76% actually in Ireland. So 2 out of 5 hospitalizations in Ireland in 2011 occurred, either directly or indirectly due to the 4 main chronic diseases. So cancer, cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, and diabetes. And it accounts for 60% of hospital bed days and also approximately 80% of all the GP consultations. So the national research has estimated more than half of our over 50s, are currently living with 2 or more chronic diseases, and this figure is expected to rise dramatically. I'd like to touch a bit about cancer. So cancer is the second major cause of death in Ireland after chronic disease, and accounts 8,000 deaths a year, an average of roughly 30,000 new cases being diagnosed per year. 50% more cancers per year than in the mid-1900s, and number of newly diagnosed cancers is increasing 6 to 7% annually. The survival rates are improving due to early detections, and advanced medical interventions, and this translates big time to ongoing healthcare spending. So our aging population, combined with the rising incidence of chronic disease, will place severe pressure on our healthcare system. Okay, so market claims projected increase 80% from 2015 to 2025, and 75% of the healthcare expenditure currently is allocated to the management of chronic diseases. So we all know about the idiom, prevention is better than cure, right? Sadly, for chronic diseases, there is no cure. So, but to exercise medical management and active surveillance, okay, in secondary prevention for the particular chronic disease that we are treating. So let us all go back to basic. What is wellness? Not an easy concept to define, as we all know. Term is used every day in an everyday language in assumption that everybody knows what exactly it means. Okay, but wellness is actually a multi-dimensional and holistic, encompassing your lifestyle, your mental and spiritual well-being, and obviously the environment. So wellness is actually positive and affirming. Okay, in order to understand it, we need to look at all the 7 pillars of wellness. So spiritual wellness is the ability to establish and harmony in our lives, develop congruency between values and actions, and of course to realize a common purpose that binds creation. And when we talk about emotional wellness, which we understand this because we talk about mental health, we talk about daily how happy we are, how sad we are, problems that we face, is literally to cope with challenges of life can bring, an ability to acknowledge and share feelings of anger, love, sadness, stress, hope, joy, and happiness in productive manner. And in the intellectual wellness is actually our desire to learn new concepts, improve skills, seek challenges in pursuit of lifelong learning. And then in physical wellness, we know about this as well, is a maintained health quality of life that allow us to get through our daily activities without undue fatigue or physical stress. Okay, recognizing our behaviors that have significant impact in our wellness and adapt helpful habits such as your checkups, your balanced diet, your exercise, your sleep, and while avoiding destructive habits. Social wellness is relate and connect with other people in our environment by maintaining positive relationship with family, friends, and colleagues. and environment wellness ability to recognize our responsibility and make a positive impact on the quality of environment, it be at our own home, our communities, our planet, our office, place that we work, etc. And obviously, finally, financial wellness is to live within our means, planning for the future, long or short term, by managing resources to achieve realistic goals. So, why are we doing it? How do we practice wellness? This can be achieved through wellness programs, and why we, whether it's in the private health insurance market or as a corporate companies, why they stress so much about wellness programs. This is the reason. So in the past, wellness programs, now not so much occurring in Ireland, but I think in the US, is as seen to have something that was nice to offer to the employees. But now many companies understand that the health and wellness is a strategic imperative for their business that helps them to take a dent out of the rising healthcare costs. So these programs assist employers in resolving health-related productivity and performance issues, okay, and ultimately save the organization money. So the direct healthcare costs, as you can see, is on your right, is the outpatient care, pharmacy charges, inpatient care, emergency department visits, and more. And they are easy for employers to identify, okay, it's measurable. However, many organizations don't realize the impact that indirect costs have there on workplace, which is there on compensation, turnover, absenteeism, etc. So things such as sick days and effect of presenteeism, the cost of employees who are on the job but not fully work due to illness and medical conditions. And in fact, one study published in the Journal of Occupation and Environment Medicine, Volume 51, 50,000 workers from 10 different employers showed that lost productivity costs related to absenteeism and presenteeism were 2.3 times higher than medical and pharmacy costs alone. So we know the upside-down pyramid, and this is actually published in the Volume to Value Revolution in the Oliver Wyman's Healthcare Innovation Center. So we know 5% of Americans account 45% of healthcare spending. That's equate to 1.2 trillion, polychronics and overutilization, healthcare variation, non-compliance. So they are complex cases, but the population that's actually in it is really tiny, but the cost is huge. 20% are at risk of major procedure, so the cardiology, the oncology accounts 35% of cost spending, and usually cases reflections of infections, complications post-op, and rehospitalization. And obviously, majority of us were sick at the bottom there, the healthy and wellness incentive, where 75% are healthy with minor health issues, and the cost is roughly about 20%. Okay, so who are we targeting? It's two populations here I see, the general population where there's no major health issues, they have no interaction with health system at all, and also those ones with a chronic illness. So recent run study, do workplace wellness programs save employers money? Okay, examine 10 years of data from 100 employers' wellness program, and when compared against the lifestyle management component, disease management delivered 86%, of the hard healthcare cost savings, generating $136 in savings per member per month and a 30% reduction in hospital admissions. So compared to the general population part, the at-risk employer suffers from factors like overweight, blood pressure, diabetes, depressions, which can lead to costly and avoidable health claims. At-risk people should be identified through personal health assessment, through screenings, encouraged, and obviously they're not coerced in doing this, to participate personalized care management program to minimize their chances of becoming chronically ill. So evidence-based lifestyle management program that actually reduces health risk and absenteeism. So that's one of the reasons that we're targeting both population of the chronic and also that the one that not at risk. So wellness in workplace, these are just facts and figures that we know that chronic disease, illness, conditions such as asthma, arthritis, migraines, depression, back pain, diabetes can negatively affect an employee's performance and productivity. So while these conditions may produce fewer direct costs than disease such as cancer or heart disease, they create a higher indirect cost, as earlier on shown, and in part because they're so prevalent. So facts here, depression costs US employers more than $35 billion a year in reduced performance at work, and on-the-job pain. So back pain, your headache, your migraine, arthritis, cost employers nearly $47 billion a year in productivity loss. It's huge. Okay? One research also team calculated total cost of presenteeism in the United States to be greater than $150 billion per year. So these are all the downside. So the benefits of doing, a wellness program at work. So for the employees, obviously, it begins to change and improve their health-related lifestyle behaviors. The wellness programs sustain employees' interest in long-term goals, like healthy diet, medical screening, weight loss management, blood pressure reductions. It also actually helps employees to develop a sense of camaraderie, which is a stronger motivator itself when it comes to participating in wellness programs activities. And also employees feel much better with physical and mentally, and obviously more productive, okay, and enjoy lower health insurance premium. Now, obviously, this doesn't actually apply to us because that, in America is risk rated. We are going by the community rating here. So as employers' point of view to roll out the wellness program, obviously enhance recruitment and retention in healthy employees. It reduce healthcare costs for them, decrease rates of illness and injuries, reduce employee absenteeism, improve employee relations and morale, and increase productivity. Also, now coming back to the cost point of view, in a critical meta-analysis on costs and savings associated with health programs, they found that medical costs fall about $3.27 for every dollar spent on wellness programs, that absenteeism cost falls by about 2.73 for every dollar spent. This return is investment suggests that a wider adoption of such programs could provide beneficial for budget and productivity as well as health outcomes. So evidence after evidence, accumulated over the past 3 decades actually have shown that well-designed and well-executed programs that founded and evidence-based principles can achieve positive health and well-being and also financial outcomes point of view. In most cases, according to one industry leader, it takes roughly about 2 to 5 years, after initial program investment to realize these savings. And this is particularly for the general population. We know that for the fact that for anybody in the chronic disease space, these health programs, will actually reflect quicker than the one that is actually not having chronic disease. So in VHI, we take wellness as a holistic approach. So out of the 7 pillars that earlier on mentioned, we can group them into 3 main core propositions to develop very successful health programs. So these are the 3. Okay? So in the health programs, for us, we base on 4 key elements that is really important. First is to know what is the purpose. So by knowing what a company wants, in a sense of purpose, wants to accomplish, so their objective. So for example, if high proportion of people who have a screening done in the first place and they have like high BMI or high total cholesterol, so the key objective there is to reduce the total cholesterol and also weight reduction, subsequently decreasing BMI. So once we know the objective, we then move on to measure. We measure everything. So the main important thing is we measure, first of all, is the engagement, and event is only successful depending on the attendance, okay? So analyze surveys, of course, the course data, all obtained, and all these will produce results. And they will bring results in a sense of very meaningful way, targeting from the 3 elements of the nutrition, exercise, and the mental aspect of it. And then next, that we move on to scale. How do we scale this? So we're creating high standards of the programs and thus scaling resources to support the company in a way they want to be supported. And the final thing that is really important is actually promote. So we promote through your wellness portal. We promote through the internal comms, the e-zine, the e-newsletter, the digital platform that's actually available to us. Right. So ultimately, the health programs that actually we design, we want to show and we bring about behavioral change, because in knowing that you have a health program that's actually short, your memory wouldn't be listed. I'm going to give you, for one example, that we all sing about each time when it comes to after Christmas, the Operation Transformation. We do so good in the month of January, February, but what comes March, April, May, June, July, till December, we forgot all about it. So in order for health programs to work, we need to actually change behavior of people, okay? So we also understand in our business that we understand there's no wellness program that one size fits all. So obviously we have to tailor it based on the objective of a company. So I want to give you, for example, recently what we do for a company. Now, bear in mind that the numbers are quite small in this because that we are targeting high BMI and high cholesterol. So I'm collating all the data back. So far, I know for the fact that these people, 100% weight reduction from somebody losing 20 kilograms in the first 6 months to about 2 kilograms in the first 6 months. It's huge. So it says it all in a sense. And this program actually carried longer than 6 months. It carried a year. So I'm waiting for the rest of the data to come back to me, and hopefully I can share with you the next time when I'm here. Okay? We also need to know that for so many data that I presented today based on American version, we love to do something more, and I think we should, because it's so difficult to measure and encompasses with company point of view to know what is their rate of absenteeism, presenteeism, etc. Whether when a wellness program is being rolled out, can we get data from them? So we need to look at a way of means and not, encompassing or getting just an aggregate report and say, well, if we launch this wellness program, what is your next 6 months, even to next 2-3 years, what is the results going to show? And I think Ireland needs to do more of these, because I know that for the fact that 3 decades, American has been doing this and they're measuring it so well, okay? And I think we're a little bit slow behind, and I hope that, one day people can knock on my door, or I can knock on everybody's door, and they all accept and say, right, let's do this. Let's get this out and publish it so that, we know that facts are figure for Ireland itself. Thank you very much.